What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Ty James channel. I'm Ty James, and today we are cracking open the truth about eggs. I know, you've probably been at the supermarket and just stared at these labels: regular, cage-free, free-range, pasture-raised, organic, or stared at empty shelves because there is no eggs, but still, that's besides the point. You've probably wondered, though, what's the difference? Are these super pricey ones really worth it? Well, I've dug into the science for you guys, not the hype or the marketing, and this way we can see is how chickens live, how that affects whether their eggs' nutrition is more nutritious or less nutritious. So by the end of this video, you should know what you're paying for, how to pick the best eggs for your budget and your health. So let's get cracking. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm more than likely gonna be using pretty much every egg pun available in this video, so you should probably prepare yourself. But don't worry, this still is gonna be an excellent video. Let's just get into it. First off, let's talk about the basics of egg nutrition. All eggs are nutritional champions, regardless of what style you get. They have around 6 to 7 grams of protein, vitamins like B12, minerals like selenium, and in reality, the yolk is really the star of the show. Packed with good quality fats, good cholesterol, and vitamins A, D, and E. Plus, every egg has around 125 milligrams of choline, which, mostly in the yolk, is a brain-boosting nutrient for memory, mood, and cell health. Now, the National Institute of Health says most folks nowadays don't get enough choline, and it's actually great for your liver too. But here's the deal. How chickens live, what they eat, where they roam around, can tweak these nutrients a little bit, right? Though choline stays steady. So let's break it down by each type of egg. Let's start with our cheapos, conventional eggs, or regular eggs, you might call them. These hens, they live in tight cages. Think of like a sheet of paper's worth of space. Well, my hands are a bit thicker than a sheet of paper, but you get the idea, right? Poor hens, right? They're all kind of cooped up together. Well, these eggs eat a basic grain diet like corn and soy, and sometimes they do have vitamins added into their feed. But no sunlight, no movement. Kind of like me when I pull all-nighters when a new video game comes out. Anyways, a 2010 Penn State study shows that these eggs usually have the lowest omega-3 count, vitamin D and vitamin E. But choline is still there at 125 milligrams per egg. The other nutrients are a little bit more on the light side, but these are your budget-friendly, on average around $2 to $3 a dozen if you can find them. And they kind of deliver like just your baseline nutrients, the protein, basic omega-3s, the choline, and things like that. So just like the baseline nutrition. Next up, we have cage-free eggs. No cages, yay! Kinda. So don't imagine like wide open spaces. Wide open spaces. Okay, that's enough of that. These hens are still in barns, right? They only have about 1 to 1.5 square feet of space. Not a huge difference between the other eggs. And they're still on a grain diet. The Egg Nutrition Center says they're nearly identical to conventional eggs nutritionally. Same 125 milligrams of choline, maybe a smidge. Come to think of it, is smidge like a measurable unit of measurement? Like, can you say like, can I get like half a smidge or a quarter smidge, or can I get 3 smidges? I don't know. Whatever, I'm still gonna go with smidge. So they have a smidge more magnesium, but omega-3s, D, and E all stay around the same as the regular conventional eggs. Now, these are almost double the price usually of conventional eggs. So I guess you can say it's more about like ethics than nutrition, but in reality, they don't really have much more space than the other chickens. So it's more of a hype thing. Okay, now we have free-range eggs. Here's where chickens get some freedom. Kind of. By USDA rules, they need access to the outdoors, but that could just be like a little tiny chicken door to a concrete strip, not like a lush field for them to graze on. So, USDA regulations, they get 1 to 2 square feet indoors, so just slightly more than the cage-free, but they have a sweet little door they can use, right? They're still mostly fed grain, maybe a peek at sunlight, things like that. Now, if they do step out into the sunlight, this is where it helps. A poultry science study found free-range eggs can have 3 to 4 times more vitamin D from sun exposure and a slight omega-3 boost with about a 39% less inflammatory omega-6 fats than conventional eggs. Now, choline, still steady, 125 milligrams, but that's without real roaming or foraging. Vitamins A and E, baseline, okay? So the only real boost is to the vitamin D, but that's if the hens actually use their sweet little door, which I don't know how they would open it. I'm not a hen, so I don't know how they would do it. Maybe their feet. All right, we're getting off topic. Anyways, next. Now let's say compare that to pasture-raised eggs. Now these chickens, they're living large, right? They get about 108 square feet of space each, and they're usually just roaming the pastures, pecking at grass, bugs, seeds, worms, and they get additional feed as well. Now, it's a worlds apart from, say, the free ranges, sometimes outdoor, use our sweet little door and go outside situation. But this natural diet actually pays off. In Penn State's 2010 study, they found that pasture-raised eggs had double the vitamin E content, over twice the amount of omega-3 content, and they had far less omega-6s than conventional eggs. Now, a 2022 PMC study added 3 to 7 times more beta-carotene for vitamin A and up to 3 times more vitamin D per egg. But choline, does it increase the choline? No. Eggs, no matter which eggs you get, their choline is staying steady at 125 milligram. But the yolks are loaded with all those extra goodies from all the foraging the chickens get to do. You see it in that bright orange yolk, unless it's faked, which we're going to get into. These eggs usually run about triple the price, and they kind of really outshine that whole free-range nutritionally by a mile. But that's like 3 times the price of regular eggs. They're about on par with the cost of cage-free and free-range. So know what you're buying before you buy it. But hold up. Not every orange yolk means pasture-raised goodness. Unfortunately, some of these sneaky egg producers, especially a lot of these that are labeled as pasture-raised, they add spices like paprika, marigold petals, or even cayenne to their feed to get a vibrant color. Now, why? Because consumers love thinking that deep orange yolk equals healthy. In a 2020 feed strategy piece, they noted that these additives pump up the carotenoids just for looks, not the nutrition. Paprika's got a bit of beta carotene, but it's really negligible. You're not going to get it from the nutrition. And there's no big omega-3 or vitamin D boost like real pasture foraging gives you. So the pretty yolk might be a trick unless the hens actually truly roam. So the best thing to do is before you purchase an egg, dig into that farm's practices to see if they add in things like paprika, marigold petals, or cayenne to their chicken's feed to get that yolk color. Last up, let's talk about organic. Okay, organic eggs usually means no antibiotics, no hormones, organic pesticide-free feed, but they're still like cage-free or free-range by rule, so the outdoor time varies. A study comparing organic to conventional eggs, so just regular organic eggs versus conventional eggs. The study found no major nutrient difference unless the chickens were able to roam a pasture. So choline, still there at 125 milligrams, but without serious roaming, all they do is just match the cage-free or free-range or conventional eggs in their stats for nutrition. Now, if they are pasture-raised and organic, you're going to get a clean feed plus the nutrition of them being pasture-raised. Now, these are still expensive for the eggs, so just make sure if you're going to go with organic that you're at least going with a full pasture-raised, not just a basic organic. Now, one more misconception people have, and I fell victim to this. I'm like today years old finding out about this. White versus brown eggs. Doesn't matter. Typically, people look at the brown eggs and they go, oh, those are more nutritious. Nope. I'm going to tell you right now. No, white eggs just come from hens with white feathers, like longhorns. Brown eggs come from hens with red feathers, like Rhode Island Reds. The brown pigment is just the shell coating. It's purely cosmetic. The USDA and Egg Nutrition Center studies show no difference in protein, choline, vitamins, any of that between brown eggs and white eggs if the hens are raised in the same way. A pasture-raised white egg. So say you have a full pasture-raised, free to roam around, peck at the ground, do their thing, little eggs living their happy little life, and they produce white eggs. It's gonna beat a caged brown egg or a cage-free brown egg every time in nutrition. So it's all about the lifestyle of the hen, not the color of their egg. All right, so here's some real talk for you guys. Remember, conventional eggs, cage-free, free range, and regular organic, all about the same in the nutritional content. Very slight bumps in that free range if the chicken gets to go outside or chooses to go outside and bask in the sun and get a tan, right? But a full pasture-raised chicken, you will see a huge bump and increase in the amount of omega-3s, the vitamin A, the vitamin E, the vitamin D, but your protein and choline remains the same. So, are you mostly paying for the marketing for the cage-free, the free-range, organic? Yes. You might as well just go with the conventional egg if you don't really care about getting all those extra quality nutrients that you would get from a fully pasture-raised chicken. So, science says it. Unless it's a true pasture-raised or organic pasture-raised chicken, you're not going to get enough extra nutrition or enough extra boost in the nutrition over a conventional egg to match the price tag. So, cage-free, free-range, regular organic, it's just a feel-good label. It's not a game changer. If you were looking at those eggs, you might as well just go with a regular conventional egg because nutritiously, there's no difference. Well, there you go. There's your egg truth. Science-backed. No fluff. Cage-free, free-range, and regular organic. Pretty much mostly marketing, guys. Not worth the hype over conventional eggs. Real pasture-raised or organic pasture-raised. That's really going to be your only noticeable nutrient upgrade. But yeah, they do cost more. So what's your egg pick? Do you typically go with a cage-free? Do you go with a conventional? Are you going to be changing which ones you go with? Or I guess right now you're pretty much just going to grab whatever eggs they have on the shelf because we have an egg shortage. But tell me in the comments if this helped clear things up for you about eggs. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification for more food deep dives and fitness-related content, gaming-related content, all those things. And I will see you guys next time.